Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca, and here on my little corner of the web, I like to talk about budgeting and lifestyle, and today I'm doing my December 2021 budget wrap-up. And this is my last budget of 2021, and probably my last budget video planning like this. If you watched my most recent video, you know that I've kind of switched my style to being like face-to-face with an Excel spreadsheet, and I wanted to finish out 2021 in the template that I designed, but I will probably be doing that method moving forward. So let's get into it. This was a pretty good income month for us. I don't write down the three sources of income until after I film the final budget wrap up. I keep them in my Excel spreadsheet and I just don't write them for Jared's privacy. That's my husband. But I do share the income from my personal business, which is Shoestring Flings. I'm an event planner. And I really have just recently launched my business. If you've been following along, you know that I mean, I guess recent is relative, but it's still very recent. I quote unquote launched at the beginning of 2020, but that didn't really pan out because of the pandemic. So I kind of quit one of my jobs to get serious about it this past August. So this month I was able to take home $383.33. And then for miscellaneous income, I was planning on actually putting Christmas bonuses here. But what I ended up doing, I put one Christmas bonus that I got from, I also work at a nonprofit, and I got a Christmas bonus of $250, which, you know, I work part-time, and I'm the only employee, so I am very blessed to get a bonus at all. And then we actually got $300 back. So this month we had $550 of miscellaneous income, and we got $300 back from a secured credit card that Jared had opened in the middle of 2020 when we were trying to buy a house and we were trying to raise his credit before we bought the house. But then what ended up happening was that we didn't need that, and he was able to get the house, like his credit was approved for a house anyway. Kind of a long story, but we canceled that card because it was kind of ridiculous. We didn't need it. And we got the $300 that we had deposited back. If you don't know how a secured card works, you give them the collateral money, and then you can spend against that, and they take that if you don't pay it back. So that's what happened there. So really, it wasn't income, but it was money we got in this month. So our total for this month was $7,401.86. And the reason there is such a huge discrepancy here is that I always budget off of the lowest amount I hope for my husband to make. He is partly self-employed. He's a contractor, so his income depends on how many projects he takes on, and he had a really good month, and he did get a Christmas bonus. So that's what that's about. And then the first line item or section of our budget is always giving. We are Christians, and we believe in giving to our church and other missions organizations. So to our church, we did $511.43. And to we have various ministries we support, and I can't believe I forgot to write this in, but I wrote the total amount, so we're going to have to do some math here. So the total amount is $863.67, and instead of doing on-camera math, because I am not very good at it, I am going to do some math on the calculator. 863.67 minus 511.43. This watch is a lifesaver for this. Wait a sec, that doesn't seem right. Oh, I guess it is. That's right. Okay, so this amount is $352.24. We gave some Christmas donations this year. That's why that number is so much higher than usual. We have like set donation amounts of $157 per month. So moving down to the bills category. For our mortgage, it was actually, it used to be $1,200, and then when escrow recalculated for this year, it became $1,207.50, but it was only $1,200 because we were paying extra principal to make it that. It was actually $1,161, and so the payment went up to $1,167, and it just jumped our payment $7. But I pushed it back down for January because I like the nice even round $1,200. That's why I did that. So it should be $1,200 again moving forward. Then the phone bill. So this was actually really high this month because Jared used to be on his parents' plan and he wasn't paying for it. So we were only paying for my phone, which was $44. And then I added cellular for my Apple Watch when I got it. So that added $10 a month to be able to use it when it's not near my phone. So then my bill was $54 a month, but now Jared they've switched plans and Jared is taking over his portion, which honestly he should have done a long time ago. So now he's paying, and he had to pay an activation fee plus we weren't sure. Well, let me check November. Let me see what, because I can't remember. Yeah, okay, actually, so yes, he had to pay, and then also this was the month that I paid the activation fee for my watch. I had to pay like a $35 activation fee, and that came out this month. It was a little bit delayed. So the total amount was $158. He paid $50, and the rest was for like my activation and my regular phone bill. And then Wi-Fi is $71.15. I know it's pretty steep. And then electricity, I already knew these numbers when making this budget. So electricity is $76.26. Water, sewer, trash was $86.77, and natural gas was $21.88. And I think our electricity is going to go way up for next month because or actually I already know what it is. It has gone way up for next month because for all of December we had Christmas lights running. So that was a lot of extra electricity that we don't usually have. And then car insurance was $152.91. Health insurance for Jared is $160.37. I'm under my mom's health insurance for free because I'm under 26. Life insurance for both of us is $59.13. And my gym membership is $21.60. So our regular bills category was $2,015.57. And then onto the other side of the page for expenses that are not bills. First, we have groceries and household. We did super well in this category this month. Go us. We've been struggling. We spent $451.51. And it's partly because of the next line. This always happens. Anytime we do well in groceries and household, we do poorly in eating out. So we spent $233.98. Yikes. Also, when I made this budget, I kind of forgot that we were going to Austin for the week of Christmas. And we just had to spend more money on eating out because we were not home. And that's just how it was. And that's okay. And then gas, once again, we spent more because we went out of town. So it was $118.76. And then Jared's allowance, he spent $72.97. And my allowance, I spent $72.75, which is crazy because I never don't spend my full allowance amount. So that was a good month. Good month for that. And then subscriptions, we spent $59.93. And then for house stuff, this is if we want to buy anything for the house, like decorations or household, like a stand mixer. I think that's a really big household expense. I don't know why I said that. So anything that would be like, I don't know, decor or that kind of thing. And we spent $22.47. And then miscellaneous, we spent $76.85. So for the first time in a really, really long time, we came in under budget for expenses. We spent $1,109.22. And that was amazing. That never happens. And really the only thing we overspent on was eating out, which, is very typical for us. But we did so good on every other category. So go us in December. Next, we have sinking funds. And I do this. I make this template myself. So I do a start amount, how much I add, how much I use, and then how much it ends with. And so for start, I didn't write this at the beginning of the month because I was still, in November when I filmed this. So I didn't know what the start amount would be because I hadn't closed out my November budget. But we started with $375.61. We ended up adding, we added 100. We spent 0. We ended with $475.61. Renovations, we started with 7-Eleven. We only added 20. We are not doing any, or we're not working on any renovations currently, which is actually a big goal that we will start adding to for 2022 probably, but not for this month. So I bumped it down to $20 and we spent 0. So we ended with $27.11. For travel, this is our big category that we're working on right now and spending out of right now. So we had $2,250.58. We actually added, so you'll see in the savings portion of our budget down here with emergency fund, but we finished out our emergency fund for December. I'll just go ahead and spoil that. So we then put every extra dollar that came in towards travel. So let me wipe this out. We actually added 13, 16, 63 to travel. But then we booked a ton of travel in December. I booked our flights for Europe. And if you don't know, we are going to Europe. We're spending the summer in Europe next year, or I guess technically this year because it's already 2022. The Lord willing, with everything happening still, but we made these plans before the newest variant came out. So we booked all our flights, and then I booked our Airbnbs. We're staying for a month in Florence and a month in Paris, so I booked our Airbnbs for both of those. So that was a lot of money. And then we ended up also spending, we were planning on going to Belize right at the end of January for slash the beginning of February for 2 weeks. And we had some flight credits. So really I booked us flights and it was $100 more than our credit. So I spent $100 on that. So you spent a total of $28.69.27. And I should mention, the reason this number is so low, you're thinking, oh my gosh, you booked flights, you booked Airbnbs, how is it so low? Is that we actually had $2,500 in credits from a travel agency that we used to book our flights, from our canceled elopement that was supposed to happen in 2020. And then we had $1,000 of credit card points that we were saving to redeem for this, and we have redeemed most of it. So between that's around $3,500 that is in addition to this that we have booked. So that's kind of how that worked. And then unfortunately, because of this new variant, our trip to Belize has been canceled. And by canceled, I mean we were getting free accommodations because my husband used to live on the island in Belize, in Ambergris Caye. San Pedro is the city. And every year his band has this little reunion tour they've been having, they have been starting it recently. And the deal is that they play for a certain hotel, and the hotel gives them free lodging and some food and activity vouchers. And the hotel, reneged on the deal because obviously, with everything going on, it wasn't going to be safe, and it also wasn't going to be a smart business move for them. So we just found out that our flights are non-refundable and non-changeable. So that's a huge bummer. I did not realize that when I booked them. I should have. But so now we are just kind of out $800, and that really sucks, and I'm really sad about it, and I wish that we could take a different trip and use them, but it just doesn't feel like it's a good idea to try to travel right now, because if I were to get sick or infected and test positive, I would not be able to be at my events, and since I own my own business, I'm the only employee, it would be, a really bad business move. So it's not very safe. We just have to lose those credits. And it's such a bummer because we booked those flights with credits that we got from another canceled part of our elopement trip in 2020. So we've been holding on to those credits for 2 years. And we've just lost them. We're really sad about it. But, it is what it is. You don't need to hear my rant about that. So we ended the month with $697.94. And we've booked now most of our Europe accommodations. We have 2 more small Airbnbs to book. Somewhere in Switzerland we haven't decided yet, and one in Berlin. And I can definitely do a whole video about this. I got some questions about how we're affording it. Yeah, lots of questions. How are we affording it? I know. But I can answer that all in depth. Mostly we're planning to work while we're there, and we've been saving money. But we will probably need, I think, about $5,000 more dollars. So we have planned to save that between January and the end of May to get us ready for the trip. Okay, moving on. Gifts. So we started with $23.13. We added $100, and then we spent $117.97 and ended up with $516. And so let me explain this kind of. So really, my goal was with the Christmas fund, because obviously Christmas was in December, was to fund all of our Christmas gifts with the Christmas fund. But because I had planned to add money to the gifts fund and we went way over in our Christmas fund, I added, I just went kind of up to the limit, used all of our gifts fund for a portion of Christmas that was gifts as much as I could, if that makes sense, so that I didn't have to add more to the Christmas fund. So in Christmas, we started with $56.22, and this is because if you watched my November video, unfortunately, our Christmas lights cost way more than we budgeted for. I think we'd budgeted $100 or $150 or maybe $200, and we ended up spending, I think, $525 because we wanted them, we wanted these commercial grade lights for my guy, and he wouldn't, he had to do an installation too. He couldn't just give us the lights because he had to cut them to our house size, and so that made it super expensive. And it was not, and even it was way more than he quoted us that it would be. So that was a huge upsetting thing that happened. So we did not have enough money in our Christmas fund, so we had to add enough to cover all of our expenses. So we ended up, instead of adding 200, we added 435, and we spent 489.01. So I'm very blessed that we have enough money and we have enough income to be able to just do this and not have to worry about Christmas. I know that that's a really big expense for some people, but luckily we were able to, so we ended up with 221. So luckily that was not a huge problem for us. And now we have Christmas lights and we won't need to buy those again. And we definitely won't have him install them next year. We'll just put them up ourselves. And then health. So we had 512 even to start the month. And I was going to add 60, but then we had, I think, a doctor's bill, I don't remember, or something happened that was going to be a lot more. So I ended up adding 100 because I don't want this to get too low. Honestly, I need to get back to adding. For quite a while now, I've been adding about the same as I'm taking out, so it's kind of equaling out every month. So I need to get back to adding more so that it's actually growing for if we have a real health emergency, because I know it could easily be way more than this, and I have pretty good insurance through my mom, but Jared does not. So we spent 114, again, not quite sure what this was on, so we ended with 497.56. And then auto. We just spent a ton of money out of this last month and the month before on tires for Jared's car, so we had 79.83. We added 100. Then my registration and inspection was due this month, so it was 120.75. We must have had something else too. Oh, a toll. We had a toll expense, and I just call that an auto expense. So we ended with 59.08. So overall, we started the month with 3,304.48. We added, that can't be right. Now I have to go do math again. I did not change this bottom number. So 120, let me just do simple math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 835, 845, 855. So 855 plus 13, 16.63. I don't know why I didn't change that number. So we actually added 2171.63. We spent 37.11.44. So we ended the month with 17.64.67. And this is, I think, the first month that we've spent more. Like, we've had to transfer money out of sinking funds at the end of the month into the bank account instead of the other way around. But obviously that was going to be the case because we were saving for a big travel thing, and then we spent a bunch of money on it. So that tracks. Okay, and then moving down to savings. So for investments, this is my Roth IRA, Jared's Roth IRA, and we have like some single stocks. And we don't have very much in here. We're not very good at this. We have 85, 87, 69. Or we started the month with that. And obviously this fluctuates. Like, this does not this does not equal the amount that we've put in exactly. We budgeted 302. We actually put in 457. Oh wait, I read that wrong. 357.41. And then the end number is what the market closed on December 31st for us. So it was 8,996.59. And this is a goal that we have for 2022, is to like really beef up these investments. I know that now that we're debt free and we finished our emergency fund, which is the next item, it's something that we really want to focus on. So for our emergency fund, we started with $9,215.64, and our goal in this step was to get it to $10,000. So we were able to do that. The balance that we needed to add was $784.36. So now we have $10,000. Woo! And we actually have 10,002 because then some interest hit. So that's super exciting, and I'm so glad we were able to sneak in that goal right at the end of the year like we were hoping to, because the goal started to move a lot more slowly once I quit one of my jobs and we weren't having steady income. But we did it, and that is such a blessing. And then we also added a little bit to our buffer. This has been I don't know, because I feel like we haven't been spending. I track every transaction, but it feels like our buffer is losing money. So because we had so much extra money due to bonuses, okay, we started with 17,803.33. We ended up adding $100 to our buffer, just, because we could, and we wanted to bring it back up. So we put in 1241.77, and then I'm not quite sure how much we have in our buffer. We technically are supposed to have 3,500, but the numbers fluctuate and move around based on like when we get paid and when things come out of our account. And we also have it between two different accounts, so I'm not quite sure, but it's supposed to be around $3,500. So we ended with 19,045.10. And that is a zero-based budget. So everything in equals everything out. And that is our last budget for 2021 and my last budget in this planner and budgeting this way. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed all of my budgeting videos this year. This was my first full year on YouTube, sharing our budgets for the whole year. And I think we've seen some huge money wins this year, and I'm so excited for what 2022 holds, and I can't wait to share it all with you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.